Hey VC, how's everybody doing? Jeff back to shoot another video. A couple of times in some recent videos over the last couple of weeks I'd made mention about possibly shooting a video showcasing my LPs by the Stones in my collection, and a couple of people had expressed some interest in that and were keen to see what I had, so now I thought was a good time to show you. So here we go. And first we have their debut, England's Newest Hitmakers. This is a stereo copy, original pressing. I have an original mono copy. I do not have the free full color photo which accommodated that release. Next we have 12x5. That's a mono pressing of that. Stereo pressing of Now. Out of Our Heads stereo. Stereo copy of December's Children. It's a US pressing stereo of Aftermath. Most of these are Canadian. Aftermath, however, is US pressing. And my stereo copy of Between the Buttons. Certainly sounds a lot better than it looks. I'm still on a hunt for a jacket upgrade for that one. Next is an original mono pressing of Their Satanic Majesty's Request. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is a 3D or lenticular cover, as some people call it. Beggar's Banquet. And Through the Past Darkly, of course that's the octagon jacket. This is a later pressing of Let It Bleed. Get Your Yayas Out. This was one that I showed in a recent video for Dave Rico. He had asked people to show some of their favorite live albums, and this is was #1 on my list. How you doing, Dave? Next is Sticky Fingers. I don't think it's an original pressing, it's an early pressing though. It's the zipper cover. Next I have two separate pressings, Canadian pressings, of Hot Rocks. Probably my second favorite Rolling Stones album, Exile on Main Street. That's a double LP, of course. Goat's Head Soup. My copy has the Goat's Head poster included with it. It's only rock and roll. Made in the Shade. And this is my water-stained edition of Metamorphosis. Black and Blue. And next we have Love You Live. A little story for this one for you. This was a live album, it's a double live album that the Stones released in 1977. Side C on the album are songs taken from the Elmo Combo in Toronto, or the Elmo, simply known to people that live in southern Ontario, on the 4th and 5th of March in 1977. What you're listening to is actually a CDR copy of acetates from that show. It's not the recordings from Love You Live, which of course is an official release, but I've obtained a CDR copy of the acetates from those two shows. Next is a 2 LP compilation or greatest hits, simply called 30 Greatest Hits. This was released in 1977, and this copy I actually found in someone's garbage. I was driving down the street and they had it leaning next to a garbage pail, so I couldn't let it sit there. It's in great shape too. Some Girls. Next is Emotional Rescue. This album I showed in a recent video for Trish Mullins. She had asked people to submit a video about early beginnings in music, early tastes, early records, first records. And this is one of the very first records that I ever received as a young boy. And this is the actual copy that I still have, and it's in great shape. Next is Sucking in the 70s. Tattoo You. That's a master disc edition of that. It's etched in the dead wax. I believe it's master discs were etched on first or very early recordings of or issues of Tattoo You. Next is another live album, Still Life, an American Concert, 1981. Next is Undercover, followed by Dirty Work. Features Jimmy Page on guitar on one or two of the tracks. This is also Ian Stewart's last album that he was on before he passed away. Didn't even get to complete the album with the Stones. He's only on a handful of the songs, but this was his last album that he was a session musician on. Of course, he played with them live as well, but this was his last studio album. Steel Wheels, 1989, another last. This was Bill Wyman's last studio album with the Stones, of course. And finally, I have a sealed copy of A Bigger Bang. And that does it, VC, for my LPs. I do have the holes that are filled in their discography with CDs, but I thought I'd keep this video simply to LPs. I'll do a video later on, a part 2 perhaps, of CDs, DVDs, 7 and 12-inch singles. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope everybody is doing well, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.